ಮಾಯರ ಟೈಮ್ ಸಫಾರಿ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಾ આપણી રહેલાની
મને ચપરાલા નીવે હાಕೊಂತಿರಲ್ವಾ
લગનમાં ચોરીની વ્યવસ્થા તો તમારી જ હશે ને ઇવેન્ટ વાળા જ લઈ આવશે ને
अरे संगीत की एंट्री तो इवेंट वाला ही देखेंगे ना
Today, I'm giving you a sneak peek into what goes behind the wedding industry. What's the most unusual thing that you've done as a wedding planner until now? What is the stress buster during events? What's the craziest thing that's happened at a wedding?
2009 2010 Sangeet used to be the rage.
Absolutely.
Rage.
Yeah.
Especially now in today's world. Scrolling of Instagram or Pinterest just changes your moods.
It's always like the ad पहले इस्तेमाल करो फिर विश्वास Palaces has always been the hot favorite. The royal styles is always the most trendy one, be it the Bollywood or the Gen Z couples. The Godi which came was a black horse. The vendor had painted it white.
Wow.
And the Dulha was showing me that ये painted Godi है because his hands were completely white paint.
What? So proper band baja barat visual thing that came alive over here.
भाई अब कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा.
Yes, let's do this from real to reels.
So for our very first episode, we are keeping things fun. Today, I'm giving you a sneak peek into what goes behind the wedding industry and keeping it light because I know these guys personally. I've known them for many years before this, and it's not formal. It's going to be informal and it's going to be fun. So let's start with the first segment. Nimesh and Mohit, thank you so much for having me over here. Right? The best part over here, obviously, like I told you, I've known you guys personally, and we've seen how you've grown in the last 15 years, right? So what does it, take, from two of you teaching dance professionally to everyone? You've taught to a lot of friends. I've also emceed at a lot of your events, and you've taught, for Sangeet Sandhyas of a lot of events. What does it take to, take that big leap, go from being just wedding choreographers to starting a huge wedding company like you have?
Okay, I think it's a big leap for us as well. Initially, we were very happy with our own segment of having choreography because that was a passion which started driving, and we professionally getting trained from Shamak Dawa to Terence Lewis to maybe different companies all over India. We were very happy with that, and slowly, of course, it segmented to a Sangeet and to a wedding choreography. Why? Because things started on very soon because it was like a pocket money, simple pocket money. I think I was probably 17 or 18 when I started my choreography, and I think Nimesh was working as well parallelly. So we were like, okay, let's do this. We're more happy. Let's start with that. And then I think slowly, I think that was where the trust started building to a client. Because we used to meet every day, we're meeting them on and off, teaching, spending some quality time. So they actually had a trust ke, Arey yaar, now you're doing choreographies. Why don't you organize this Sangeet for us? Just the Sangeet. And I remember back then when we started, I think this goes to 2009, 2010. Sangeet used to be the rage.
Absolutely.
Rage.
Yeah.
It's like, I want my Sangeet the best.
Absolutely.
Because wedding as a whole event was not in trend. Sangeet is like, I want my Sangeet there, this theme. I don't know what not we have done.
Absolutely, we've traveled to places like Rajasthan also to host Sangeet and do all of that. So, yeah.
So, that was a craze. People had that craze, and as Touchwood, we were in choreographers, so we also had a background because professionally trained, we have done professional shows. So we really knew how the stage works, the lighting works, the dance team works, the decor works, and how even a small goof up among all of this can screw up our entire output of the choreography, right? So we were like, okay, so I think this instant happened in a wedding. We were doing a wedding choreography. It was a Sangeet, and we were all ready. We were just hired as choreographers. We were doing it, and I remember the DJ screwed our music. The important segment of bride and groom, which was supposed to be played at 1x speed, by mistake उसने console पे 2x कर दिया.
Oh.
So the entire show got, the main act, like the entire event was based on that, right? But ultimately the blame came to us saying that अरे आपका गाना खराब था. It was nowhere identified because the vendor was from them and not from us. So like uska galti kaise hoga? So they started doing a blame game. So I think that's where we realized that as having one team, let's do this and let's make this portion a success. So we started doing of okay, bhai, let's do end-to-end sangeets. So we started planning, we started jotting out vendors whom used to work on regular basis. पता है कि भाई इसका sound अच्छा है. Maybe he's a good MC, he's a good DJ, and you know he's a good dance team. So,
So proper band, baja, barat,
Yeah.
visual thing
Yeah,
that came
yeah,
alive
came
over
alive.
here,
Yes.
right?
correct. So I think from there, I think slowly we started just doing Sangeet choreography. I mean, organizing Sangeet events, and I think that started building trust. So we became one package basically. So client is to come is like, अच्छा choreography भी आप करोगे, अच्छा event भी आप करोगे, venue भी आप करोगे. We will come, enjoy the show. We'll handle food. I mean, that was a segment where there used to be not, we didn't have our expertise also, so we didn't want to step into that. So like we will take care, and I think that slowly started a trend in Bangalore, and people started exploring it really well. They're like, okay, let's do this. So I think slowly that trend started in Bangalore, where people started giving us just sangeets. Like, okay, end to end, we have someone who can take care of that. Also, it added a value point because being a Gujarati, being a choreographer, Hindi was fluent for us. And in fact, same thing went on with our South Indian clients because we being born and brought up in South India, we were very familiar with Kannada songs, Hindi songs, or multi-language. So that became a comfort zone for them. The trust factor, I think, started slowly building to us. So that eventually led us and that pushed us to leave our respective. I mean, Nimesh was working.
Correct. Yeah.
I
remember he used to work in that with Madan when he gifts.
Correct, correct. So we used to do into corporate gifting and parallelly do events, and then typically being Gujarati, business runs in the bloods, and quit the job and started the entire wedding planning process. So we wanted to be the perfect wedding architects who knows the entire detailing. We bring in value to the table, and we bring in the trust factor that okay, once the work is given to NM, of course at a little higher cost is always the complaint, but the work is always done in a particular fashion, that people don't have regrets and complain that why we did not give this event to NM. So that is where the trust factor started building, and here we are today, 15 years later, on the same table where we probably started our journey. We used to hire out MC Pratik, and yeah, we are here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a fun journey. I mean, the amount of events that we have done together, it's so many fun memories. But tell me this, you mentioned why, people must hire you because you are architects of a great wedding and all of that. But out of all of this, a fun question that I want to ask, what's the most unusual thing that you've done as a wedding planner until now?
A lot many things. Unusual.
If you had to pick one.
I recall one. I think it was quite recent, nahi, but I think it was quite old. Where before, what used to happen is when clients used to hire us, so it used to be different segments. So when we come as a planner, we used to handle the entire event. So I think we had the client had checked in early on that day, and next day morning is where the wedding guests started arriving. So we didn't handle for that wedding logistics department, which we didn't touch because I think they had their own vendors whom they knew from years, and they were like, "हम उसी को करेंगे," and we were like, "Okay, I mean that is taken care of. Then we will take care of the remaining portion." I think we finished the setup. We went into our rooms, and I remember 4 a.m. or I think it was even early to that.
Yeah.
The client was buzzing our phone back to back to us, to our entire team, but it was too early. But ठीक है, I said अब जब इतने phones आ रहे हैं कुछ तो होगा. So we picked up, and then he's like, अरे I had my guest, very important guest. I think it was the Samdhi and the entire family was arriving, and they were like 4 a.m. They have their pickup from station, and my vendor has ditched us, or maybe is not reachable to pick them. What to do now? And I think it was a outstation client, so they didn't have their own vehicle so that they could go pick and come. Ultimately हम लोगों ने क्या किया? Our entire team drove our own personal cars, went to the station, picked them up, and then they, I think,
Okay.
arrived. So I think maybe that is something which was very unusual at that time because we're not used to it. But for us, the most important time was that any guest, yeah, for your wedding who's come is important for you. It could be the groom's family or bride's family or anyone. Anyone is important for us. So at that time only that thing flashed us because shall Ola Uber karte ho aata jata, that would take a lot of time, and we wanted to pick them up. So I think that was the instant thing that we figured out, like, let's take our cars. We put everyone, and after that, I think immediately the client's reaction was like more than thank you. It was like a lifesaver. So I think as planners we do so many life-saving
Yeah.
jobs.
So talking about life saving, I also remember when you guys started off. It was something which you guys used to do in the nights, late in the nights,
Yeah.
because obviously Ramesh had his full time job. You were also going to college and doing all of that. We would go late nights to all these clients' house, discuss things and do all of that. And you also had a lot of friends who were helping you at that time, right?
Absolutely. Even till now, I mean, our relationship in the market has been first we are good friends, and then he is my backup vendor, or he is the current vendor. भाई तू ये कर देगा ना. So the trust factor what a vendor brings in, that is where the planner stands out. We are at the top of the tree. We bring in all of the other guys, the photographer, the makeup artist, the logistics, the decor, the caterer, the venue. So we stitch all of this together, and that's why I mentioned that we are the perfect wedding architects. We give you the plan, we visualize it for you in your version, in the client's version, in the bride and groom's version, that this is my dream wedding. And that is how it has to be. I mean, you just have to give me your thought process, and we, as wedding planners, are generally termed as magicians. We just turn up things.
कुछ भी हो ये तो ये
Yes.
कर देंगे ये मुझे ड्रीम लैंड चाहिए डिज्नी लैंड जैसा चाहिए यहाँ पे ये हो जाएगा
जाएगा।
that's it. But my other question also was that initially when you guys were starting off, there was a lot of support from your other friends who also had interest in this. Some of them were probably doing makeup, some of them were also helping in choreography and all of that. Did that probably give you confidence that if I have these people, I can also make more,
Absolutely.
contacts out there and make it into a larger team that is there?
Absolutely. So initial days, it's always for any wedding planner, the word of mouth is the key thing to hit the right market space. Because if I today spend say X amount and give a front page ad on a X newspaper, people are just going to watch it that day, and then it's
Okay.
garbage
Gone.
the next day. That's not going to bring value. The value is only the next customer who is referring you to his friend or his family to bring us on board as a wedding architects, because they have seen the work and they have the trust factor. It's always like the ad, पहले इस्तेमाल करो फिर विश्वास करो.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you go about with timelines and what is the stress buster during events?
Stress buster, I think it's I mean, I think I would say put it across as our work is stressful, yes, but with the right size of team, with the right size of planning, right size of, maybe I should say, timelines. I think that's where we work, because a lot of people say, अरे यार आपके गोडाउन में तो सब पढ़ाई तो होता है, आपको क्या करना है, ला के रखना ही है. But I said maybe one event planning or one entire wedding would at least take say about 6 months minimum of planning, where we are doing hundreds of reikis, thousands of samplings, maybe more than that, of changes of ideas. Especially now in today's world, it is just that the scrolling of Instagram or Pinterest just changes your moods. So with that kind of changes, it's very tough for us to plan.
Correct. And you rightly mentioned, Pinterest these days and everything that you see on Instagram, कहीं पे कुछ हो रहा है और celebrity weddings हो रहा है, मुझे यही चाहिए. How do you
Yeah.
guys go about it? It's such a stressful job.
So that's why, as I, Mohit was mentioning, we sit across with the couples, the families, and the key decision makers, and form a mood board which runs 6 8 months ahead of their timelines of the wedding. And that's the time where we get into a lot of customization, a lot of personalized touch we give, and make that wedding for that couple special. That, this is, you know curated specially for me by NM.
And that is why, that's my next question. Why is it really important to have the right wedding planner for a, wedding?
Right question. I think. See, it's very important. It is as equivalent to hiring a architect for your dream house or your dream place. Why? Because a planner can probably visualize like how you want your wedding to be. Right? I'm not saying you go with only NM or X and Y company, but a very good planner is necessary, is because it branches out the whole vendors, right. It If you have a right planner, then from a right photographer to right caterer to a right florist to right makeup artist, everything falls into the place, because probably we can visualize a client's dream and then we bring it to a reality. Maybe a client's vision is saying that मेरे को yellow चाहिए ही नहीं. If I'm forcing them yellow, but there's no point, right? If I don't understand their taste, maybe मेरे पास उस yellow वाले 1000 backdrops है, but I can't because they don't like it. So I think that's where a planner comes into the picture. The comfort zone, the right amount of trust, and the visualization and the taste. If these things fall into the place, then I think it's the most important
Absolutely.
part.
But then I've heard this, and I've also seen this, that a lot of people say that, oh, शादी है हम कर लेंगे, मेरे मामा है, चाचा है, ये सब कर लेंगे. But in the end, there are a lot of blunders and everything that happens, and then they realize, that, oh, I should have listened to someone and gotten a wedding planner.
Absolutely. See, olden days, this used to work because, the requirement of a wedding was only two things: hall book kar diya, khana book kar diya, and done. There was no detailing. Now, from a smallest pre-function, like a lagan lakhai at your house, the procedure where you write the wedding card, that also requires a theme. तो आप शादी का तो छोड़ ही दो. I mean, it's way ahead, way ahead. And maybe the olden days, this wasn't there, and our elders or my parents or your parents were only wanting a simple wedding. But whereas this Gen Z couples, I don't think so. They want an Instagram worthy wedding, and that's where I probably say NM is the right choice.
Great. So talking about Gen Z folks and them having dream weddings, what's the craziest thing that's happened at a wedding?
This one takes me back, in the initial days. It was one of the Gujarati family who had, given us an opportunity to organize the entire wedding. So that time, as what I was saying, vendors are the key thing. That's where we learned. This was a hard learned lesson. We booked a Godi. So in a wedding, we need Godi and not a Goda. So that's the point one clarification I got to know. Then it should be white. And I had called the vendor and booked the white Godi. When it arrived, it was white. I haven't, physically touched it, but I can see, 50 meters away from me, below a tree, the white Godis come. So the groom comes down and we organize and we bring in the Godi in front of him. The groom gets onto it and holds the collar here, there's a seat
correct.
and holds. And he's just kind of
Patting
patting so that by,
संभाल के
संभल के
लेके जाना
types.
अच्छे से हमको.
Then he's just raising his hands and showing it to me. And I'm waving back at him. But that was not the scenario. The Godi which came was a black horse. The vendor had painted it white.
Wow.
And the दूल्हा was showing me कि ये painted घोड़ी है because his hands were completely white paint.
What?
And I was waving back at him. So this incident, post that, me and Mohit, any vendor on planet Earth, we will visit your warehouse, your whatever it is, have the touch, look, and feel of what I am going to get, because my client is 200% trusting on me,
Me.
saying when I have handed it over to Nimesh and Mohit, it will be perfect.
So I think the most important is if your one vendors are 100%, your as a planner you will bang on 200%. So
Because your creativity is where your vendors play a very,
very
very
important.
important role to bring it to reality.
Got it. Correct.
हम कितना भी प्लानिंग पहले दिन कर ले, but on that day if there is no output, then
Absolutely.
everything just falls off,
Correct.
right?
And that's also, I mean, all these unexpected moments that make any wedding unforgettable is also team that sweats it out all night, and this is what we are here for, to give you such raw, unfiltered stories about what goes behind a wedding, and that's where the NM Wedding Insider Show comes out. We move on to our segment 2, where we talk about tips and trends that are upcoming in the next few months, right from the horse's mouth over here from NM Events, to talk about the trends that probably you can look forward to in the weddings to come. So Mohit, I'll ask you this. As a wedding planner, what are the kind of trends that you see couples leaning to? If we have to say themes, tell me about themes that people are.
Okay, so I think see, trends come and go, but I think the oldest and the closest to our heart and our clients' heart now, what I've viewed recently is the old is gold. Like, mix of traditional with the modern touch. I think that falls best into the place, and I think that's the most trending and will always stay in trend. So I think that is one of the key points.
So
that
when you say
I like.
old is gold, what does it mean? I mean, do they want a really old school traditional kind of a thing, or with lots of flowers and all of that, or do they want to say कि minimalistic रखना है?
I think
किस type का?
now what I see in today's trend is the eco wedding is been really moving in trend with very minimalistic use of flowers, but keeping it where we can repeat a lot of backdrops with a twist and tails. I remember this one wedding what we did recently. It was an NRI client, a typical Gen Z couple, but they wanted to do a sangeet, not like a stage performance. They wanted to do like a traditional. It was a Gujarati client, so they wanted to do like in a typical Gujarati style. We everyone do garba and dandiya, and then just enjoy the vibe. No pressure of performing on
Nice.
stage.
Yeah, that
nothing.
becomes a huge thing, right? Because I mean, for all of us in a wedding, the biggest thing that was there is कि यार मुझे dance performance करना है, and
Yeah.
bride and groom
Yeah.
हमेशा groom तो कभी नाचता ही नहीं है,
Correct.
बहुत rarely 1%.
Yes, and in fact,
Nice.
this was the same scenario. Though, in fact, I remember the girl was an American and the boy was Gujarati. The American bride was so enthused about Gujarati and the food that she learned Gujarati like 6 months before the wedding. She prepared a small liner for them, for the entire family, and she did a typical Gujarati performance.
Wow.
Like maybe शायद कोई अपना typical Gujarati शर्मा जाए, but she was like bang on. And I
Nice.
think it's like what you connect with, right? They had Instagram, they had Pinterest from where not, but I think they could more connect with their roots. So what it's just on couple to couple, right?
Got it. And when it comes to venues, what are the kind of venues that are really trending right now? There was a time when I remember, wedding destinations या फिर क्या बोलते हैं उसको wedding destinations, yeah, and you have all of that. You're not doing it in a city, but destination wedding करना है.
Correct.
See, destination wedding still stands out, and it's always the first choice of the couples these days. Be it the weddings in Uttarakhand or weddings at Rajasthan, Jaipur, Udaipur, and the newest trend which is catching up is the international wedding, where less is the new more, and people want to travel to various destinations, and that's been the in thing at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time in COVID when this became a trend, right? And people saw that, हाँ 100 लोगों में ही शादी कर सकते हैं,
Correct.
500-600 लोगों का नहीं करना है.
Yes.
But I mean, looking at all of these Bollywood weddings, also some of them also did it at palaces and everything. Have you gotten requests to organize weddings at such palaces?
Absolutely. So palaces has always been the hot favorite, especially the royal styles is always the most trendy one. Be it the Bollywood or the Gen Z couples, they want to definitely go for a palace wedding or a beach wedding or an international wedding. These are the definite three ask for the next couples.
When you
who's
talk about
coming.
international weddings, what are the top destinations you think?
Currently, the request what we have been getting is Bahrain, Dubai, Doha, all of these countries.
Fukong has been trending.
It's been trending.
Because
Because
people are-
the
yeah.
number of rooms, the kind of atmosphere, and they also serve brilliant Indian food.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always thought that, probably hosting weddings in Dubai, Doha, and the Middle East was probably way too expensive, because I've seen a lot of them do it in Bali, Thailand, and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of those weddings are there, but this is a new
Absolutely.
emerging
Now,
destination.
the government of those countries are welcoming the tourism boards are coming on board, bringing planners from across the globe, holding conventions and promoting their own countries. This has been the new thing.
Interesting. And when it comes to hospitality, like you said earlier, that someone who's giving you their wedding has 200% trust on you. So then, how do you ensure that the hospitality that you're giving to their guests is top notch?
I think what we have observed so far in hospitality is like the personal guest experiences. I think that adds, it's like a cherry on the cake. Personalized experiences is what guests looking at, and also the local cuisines, because that's always a like a soft corner that we touch to the guest who is welcoming, right? Probably if someone is doing a wedding, a North Indian couple is doing a wedding in South India, or maybe even Bangalore, probably, because Bangalore has become one of the top destinations for weddings right now. So maybe a welcome hamper could be just filled with South Indian delicacies, and I think wow, yeah, that I think that adds on to the thing, because people want to carry back something, right? I don't want are wohi chikki diya, wohi blaze diya. People are bored now, so I think adding a local cuisine to that adds into a flavor.
Interesting. And then also, I think when it comes to food, a lot of people are also looking at, while they may do their wedding, if it's a destination wedding, they also bring in cuisines from their place also over
Yes.
there, and that also is a huge request.
100%. The chai is the heart of the whole wedding, where it all begins. Irrespective of which time of the day you are going for the wedding, you will always find about 30-40 people at the chai counter. And the chai person has to be top notch, because he's catering to different region people.
Yeah.
And chai is something, which is close to every Indian's heart. So that has to be the key.
And when it comes to the main factor that people enjoy in weddings, entertainment. How do you ensure, what is upcoming over there? Because we know a lot of songs today get released and kal wo shaadi mein hit ho jata hai.
Correct.
And then how do you look at bringing in newer ways, their performances, their different DJs or different setups or different acts in entertainment? How do you go about looking at that, and what are the upcoming trends in it?
I think entertainment is like the heart of the entire wedding, right? The fun starts from there. So I think every event is a personalized entertainment. So someone who is really crazy about a DJ maybe can go all out in Sangeet. Now the latest innovations that we have added as a live band is DJ with a live band, So
Oh.
that has been in a trend right now. Of course, the latest version is the coffee rave parties. So people prefer to do a party in the morning with the chai. So I mean that is also a fun way.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
explore
coffee
it.
rave is right now. I mean, there was a grocery rave that happened recently.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
So this is something which is more fun. Also, it is on family. So because we have seen people ditching the typical haldi to doing a cricket game in their event. So I think that's also a good mode of entertainment. And of course, your digital photo booths and more impressive performances has always been a trend. And I think that all together collectively forms a good entertainment for your wedding.
now for the last thing that is there in the trends piece, something that everyone talks about. वो शादी में तो जाते हैं 500,000 का कवर तो देते हैं या फिर गिफ्ट देते हैं, बट एक चीज वो सब कमेंट करते हैं, खाना. यार शादी में गए, खाना तो बढ़िया था, खाना ये था. देयर इज ऑलवेज वन फूफा जी हु इज ऑलवेज सेइंग दैट ये चीज अच्छी नहीं थी. व्हाट इज इट दैट you feel that is upcoming as a trend in the food space for weddings that are there?
See, food-wise, always, Indians, especially, from different, regions, when we come across, a North Indian is wanting his version of jalebi, a South Indian is always looking for his rasam and sambar. So, all of this is such a blend that people want to take back as an experience. And we have such lovely cuisines in weddings where people cherish that. You know, decor, people may have idea, may not have idea, but food, I am 100% sure everyone definitely has an idea on
I
it.
think the different cuisines of balanced Indian food, balanced Pan Asian food, international food. I think that's where a summarized version of food people relish today. Because today, for every event, they want something different, right? For maybe it could be for Sangeet, it could be for Haldi. It is a local thing, and the different kind of cuisines. Of course, the expertise of all the brilliant caterers. I think it sums up the whole thing there.
All right. Now, these are the trends, but when it comes to tips, what are certain tips that you would like to give to couples who are looking to get married? What is it that they should probably keep in mind while hiring a wedding planner and also planning their wedding as such?
I think to all the couples out there, plan smart because the generations have changed. To the planning from previous to now, there are so much which has come up, which is one thing which has been really trending, and we're suggesting to all our clients is the app-based solutions, right? Because everything, right, from your RSVP to your logistics to everything is
Yeah,
app.
right.
E-invites, in fact, your invites are now digital. Even you WhatsApp it to everyone. Your app does that bit of planning. Also, one more thing that we have observed is the photos. The
Yeah, that's a big thing.
most
Yeah, there's
important.
always one wedding group that is made जहाँ पे
Just
सब
one.
photos भेजो, सब लोग खींचते हैं and बीच बीच में आके and that's something that
Yeah, yeah.
photographers also complain a lot कि या शादी के time में तो please keep your relatives and
Yeah.
your cousins away because we want to record those moments,
Correct.
not you.
Correct,
So
of course.
that's a big thing.
So I think now, I think they have come up with a brilliant idea of scanners.
Yeah.
Your QR code, whether you have clicked, whether the photographer teams have clicked, everything is available just on the kickoff link. So I think that these are the small tips that you should and compulsory incorporate in your wedding, because you think photos are not important, but for a guest who is coming, they want it to be clicked, yeah, and they want to cherish those memories. So I think these are the three things that you should definitely incorporate in your
Absolutely.
upcoming weddings.
These tips, simplify planning, make things so much more easier for the families who are involved in it, and it makes life just simpler. Right. This is exciting. But now, when it comes to the other side, people like you, there are a lot of them who are aspiring to be wedding planners. What is those one or two things that you think could be tips for upcoming wedding planners?
So this is what we have learned through our experiences. Go small, scale up as and when time permits, and observe the smallest details and deliver to the perfection. This is what every family looks from you, because as we are moving ahead, olden days it was too much a bigger family, and to handle a wedding it was just a bai haath ka khel. Now as the families go nano, they definitely look forward to having a wedding planner, so that the entire load which 1 or 2% cannot take is given to an experience based team who will definitely come out there, understand the requirement and deliver as the requirement.
Also, to the aspiring event planners is also, before you start off big, at least attend or have an experience of those big weddings. We did ourselves, and in fact we still do. We go to big events, observe, learn, be a part of the event, that how the drill works. And the most important, I think, for any planner is your team, guys. It could be a set of vendors, it could be your own team who will sit for you, and where you will sit, rest assured that because your team is working at back. So I think that is the most important aspect that comes as to the planners.
But something that always these people, I mean, today's generation also asks, how long do you really sleep after a big wedding?
I think if it's 2 or 3 days straight, but that's practically not possible. We just have to get used to the routine. And if you are in a creative space and you love your work, I mean, timelines and sleeps is just a part of it. You're passionate about creating that one memorable wedding for a couple, because here there is nothing that you can reverse.
Yeah.
Once the wedding is done, it's done. So that's where everyone in NM is on their toes, doing and sweating it out there to make that day perfect for the couple.
Wedding done, बस पैसा आना जरूरी होता है. उसके बाद that is the time when sleepless nights start.
So when you say when you get sleep, I think once the amount is credited is where we sleep peacefully.
Yeah, right. This segment has been super useful. I think the kind of trends from eco-friendly weddings to different kind of cuisines or entertainment options. I think there's a lot for aspiring wedding planners and couples who are looking for wedding planners. This gives you a sneak peek into wedding planner's life. Moving on to our next segment, rapid fire. We've seen this happen many a times, but right now we have the guys who started brilliant weddings. So let's put them on the fire. Let's go to rapid fire. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Right.
All right. So the tradition always is the people answering get a hamper. But today I need to get a hamper. All right. All right. First question. A big fat wedding or an intimate destination wedding?
For me, it is intimate destination wedding.
What about you?
A big fact. Intimate.
We are talking about more business, guys.
All right. Most underrated wedding ritual?
Yellow haldi. A typical yellow haldi.
Yeah, because everyone just goes for flowers and मेरे को दूध चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए.
But
क्या क्या?
strangely, we had one recent wedding where the bride's demand was purple haldi.
What?
Purple haldi ही चाहिए मेरे को, because the entire theme was purple. It's like haldi yellow नहीं होनी चाहिए. And we did some jugaad. I don't know. We tried so many colors and
Holy खेल लेना था. You should have just gotten गुलाल and come.
like no, it has to be skin friendly. It has to be good. It should look good in pictures. And ultimately, some jugaad we did after I think 3 or 4 trials with our teams, where she applied one day with purple haldi.
Wow.
We literally couriered her the haldi because she was not from Bangalore. She couriered. She took pictures. She tried, and then she was like approved.
My God. Okay. Now that's the kind of weddings or clients you probably shouldn't. But what is that one food item that should never be missing at an Indian wedding?
The paneer butter masala can never go missing, and the jalebi has to be hot and served.
Kadak.
Kadak.
Crisp.
Patli,
Patli,
kadak.
crisp.
And of course,
निकला हुआ, immediate निकला हुआ, वहीं पे सबसे ज़्यादा लोग होते हैं.
and with rabdi, not to miss the rabdi.
Yeah, I mean everyone wants कि शादी में तो हाँ मजा खाएंगे, but then everyone is like घर जैसा होना चाहिए.
Correct.
In fact, we are doing one Navratri event, and we finalized the entire menu, and the client comes up like, जलेबी नहीं है, रबड़ी नहीं है, मैं नहीं करूँगी.
Nice. What is the decor trend that you secretly wish would disappear?
I said, I repeat again, yellow and genda full should disappear.
What should it then be?
I think maybe not, because haldi aake it becomes a very typical mindset कि yellow होना चाहिए. But you should explore more ideas which has been more in trend. Of course, the traditional element of being a haldi. Actually, if you see, पहले haldi was a rasam which was to be at home.
Correct.
Now it's become a factor of an entertainment because you don't have any other things.
Correct.
to
And
do.
couples want to have it together also. दोनों एक ही जगह पे करना है, पानी में बैठ के.
And typically a haldi should not be done together. The bride and groom
Correct.
cannot see their haldis. I remember back then, probably it was Nimesh's wedding where we all saw the rituals. Your haldi should not be together technically. But of course times have changed, things have changed. People are open for it. But I would explore is that let's explore some better ideas. There are hundreds of themes. You could go with a Turkish haldi, or you could go with a purple haldi, and lot of things, but not yellow. Not yellow.
Got it. One word to describe Indian weddings.
It is entertainment, drama, food. I don't know what not.
I think
but
larger than life.
Larger than life, yes. It
All
has
right.
to be larger than life.
One thing that you always carry on an event day.
My sling bag. And not to forget our walkies.
That's the saver, and always the laser light pointing out people who is sleeping.
Alright, when it comes to Bharat, is it the Bharat entry or the bride entry which is more dramatic?
Of course, it has to be the bride entry, which is more dramatic because
Yeah.
the doula is on the horse and he is enjoying his day. So
Yeah, not to be stereotypical also, but then the women also want the perfect song, perfect choreographed entry, ऊपर से चादर आनी चाहिए.
Sub. But But now we are seeing it's the reverse ratio.
Uh-huh.
Brides are sorted with their entry. The groom wants all the ताम जाओ ना
Yes.
मेरी बारात में तो ये तो होना ही चाहिए, फटाके तो फूटने ही चाहिए, 100 dancers तो होने ही चाहिए,
Wow.
और loud DJ गाड़ी तो होना ही है. So I think it's slightly the trend has been changing to being equals. Like उसकी entry ऐसी है तो मेरी entry ऐसी ही होनी चाहिए.
Wonderful. So, what's your dream international wedding destination?
Indian,
No, international.
international. I think for Kong. For
Kong.
me.
For me, Bahrain.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And when it comes to India,
For me, if I have to choose something on the beach side, it's Mablipuram, a little ahead of Chennai. And if it's a palace wedding, of course, I would go to Rajasthan. And yeah, Uttarakhand is also nice.
wonderful. All right, that brings us to the end of our rapid fire. Thank you guys for your wonderful answers. Now, if you're hearing or listening to this, drop in your answers also in the comments over here, and we will feature them in our next episode and also answer a lot of other questions. So don't worry, we are here to answer all your questions on a dream wedding that NM Events can plan for you. All right, we're towards the end of our wonderful podcast. You've heard about tips and tricks, trends, and what it went into starting NM events. Now, we are at this juncture where we are bringing to you some FAQs. That's frequently asked questions that people want to know and want a wedding planner to answer. So we've curated a set of questions that a lot of people like you watching over here may have, and we have the best guys to answer them. So, starting off with the first question, I'll ask you, Nimesh. What's the biggest mistake that couples make while wedding planning?
The general, underestimation is the timelines what they take. I urge people to plan a little more earlier than what you think of. It is minimum 6 to 8 months prior. You need to start booking your venues, your planner, your photographer, the makeup artist. All of them, tend to get booked very soon. Keeping in mind the auspicious dates and all of this, the timelines is the key factor.
No, and a lot of times it so happens that some wedding venues are booked 1 year in advance.
Absolutely.
And some good photographers and everyone get booked much earlier.
Earlier. So that's the timelines I'm referring to. Start early than what you think, it is to be done.
Got it. Mohit, are weddings really as expensive as people say?
It can be, but it doesn't have to be, right? Because setting your right priorities in terms of budget and things which can go under small details, right? If this is clear to a planner, I'm sure we can do a very beautiful wedding under your budget.
Got it. And when it comes to the future of wedding industry, where do you see this, going in 5 years down the line properly?
So it is going to be more, sustainable focused, and people are going to ditch the grandeur and opt into option where, they can provide unique experiences in the wedding. This is what the, change you should see down the line.
Got it. And when it comes to what is it that because you guys also have a larger team and all of that, how do you plan and manage two weddings at the same time?
I think multiple weddings falls into the place when we have a strong team. I think that's the most thing that I always stress is the stronger team. We have a dedicated team for each event, and each manager or each team of a member is there for different events, who is making sure things are under your timelines, are fallen into your place, our contracts are very clear, our layouting is very clear, our mood boards are closed much before 1 month or maybe early to that, and we have enough meetings with the client so that all of us are on the same page. I think clarity and transparency also falls into the place.
Got it. What are the three things that couples really almost forget, but they shouldn't forget and they should keep it in mind when they're planning a wedding?
One is definitely you have to give a planner a complete clarity on what and how you want it. Second, allot realistic budgets to the smaller detailing which you want. And three, be yourself and enjoy on that day, because
Yeah.
this is all about you enjoying your big day.
Correct. And coming to budgets, I mean, everyone will be like, ये तो हो जाएगा, ये तो 20,000 में आ जाएगा, मैं लेके आता हूँ. Have you gotten that a lot of times?
Every meeting, every time, even we have closed budgets, we have अरे ये तो इतने में मिल जाते, ये तो मिलते इतने में मिल जाता है. But we always refer, right? You have a coffee which is $10, you're drinking or sipping a coffee which is $500, but there is a difference to it, right? So I think this slowly the clients have also started understanding, because they've explored so many vendors, so many planners. By the time they arrive to a planner whom they are, trying finally कि like नहीं ये मेरी शादी करेगा, kind of they've explored, they know कि इतने में इतना ही मिलेगा और इसके ज़्यादा you cannot expect. So I think that covers up.
absolutely.
Real weddings तो हो गए, but you guys also organize fake weddings, which is in trend right now.
See, again I say
and I'll add to that. What else do you organize apart from weddings?
We do Navratri, on a bigger scale, because that is something very close to our heart. We still teach Dandiya and Garba. We want to keep the tradition alive and, bring in the authenticity always. We've worked and, with greatest of artists like Falguni Pathak, Parthiv Goyal, Geeta Rabari, Kinjal Dave. We're looking forward to always bring in, authentic Gujarati traditional music during Navratri, because that's where the heart is.
And I think there's a lot of people don't know. Every time we have done these Navratri events, the profits, whatever is made, is always gone to a charity. It's never been a commercial show for us, because this is where we connect, this is where we come from, and this is where we started as Garba Dandiya, and we always keep this, very close to our heart project. So whatever, it every year our agenda is different. In fact, this year we had plans and we are still doing it, and all our funds created goes for a charity, for a cause, for a society. So I think that's how it's been.
Absolutely.
Going back to fake weddings.
Fake weddings. Okay, fake weddings, I think, as I said, trends come and go, but this has been the Gen Z, where they want to enjoy the fun, the frolic, no stress. They just want to be that Barati or that Fufaji who doesn't want to complain, but be there and live that moment. So I think that's where I could say that kudos to our Indian weddings, that it is making it, people want to
Yeah,
party in
absolutely.
that style.
It's also because a lot of them are not having weddings. They're choosing not to have
Yes,
weddings.
yes.
Right? A lot of people
Absolutely.
are opting for to either stay single or in relationships where they don't want to
Absolutely.
complicate things and
Yes,
stuff.
we have had couples where they've got married, but they just want to enjoy
Again.
the Indian process. We've organized maybe 25th anniversaries to
Exactly, I
50th
was just coming to that. I
anniversaries.
mean, fake weddings as a trend probably was something that people did earlier also. 25 साल हो गए तो शादी फिर से करो.
I think I
Correct.
remember organizing one 25th anniversary, I think 2 years or 3 years later, where we did an actual wedding of the couple, because they were like, हमारे ज़माने में तो ये सब नहीं था, येलो हल्दी तो थी नहीं हमारी, ना ही हमारा संगीत था. So we have organized every event for them just so that they can live that moment. So I think that's what even the Gen Z is trying to do, but without a tag onto it.
Good. What's the best compliment that you guys have received from a client?
See, it is always a dream of a parent, to have, that मेरे बेटे या बेटी की शादी ऐसे होगी, and that's the compliment we always look forward to, that you fulfilled my 25-year-old dream of having a flawless wedding for my kids. And the new gen couples are also sitting onto the meetings with us and involving their parents and combining both to get that perfect wedding output. And when we deliver that, even we have tears in our eyes that okay, something, we touched someone. Of course, see, weddings, it's something really emotional for both the sides of the family, and that's where we come into picture, and that's how we manage them and put it across on the table.
And that brings us to the end of this wonderful conversation with none other than Nimesh and Mohit, the founders of NM Events, in the NM Wedding Insider Show. Before we wrap up, here's a sneak peek of what's going to come ahead. There's going to be insights from other wedding planners across the country, photographers, videographers. There's probably going to be some bride and grooms who come over here and spill the secrets over here. So keep watching this show for more, because it's going to be a fun ride over here on the NM Wedding Insider show. So if you are a wedding planner, aspiring wedding planner, or a bridegroom, or a family who's planning a wedding, stay tuned for the space, because there's going to be a lot more to come, a lot more to watch out for at the NM Wedding Insider show. That's it from me, from the NM Wedding Insider podcast. This is me, Pratik, signing off. And remember, if you are planning a wedding, this is the place to be, and these are the guys to hire. So keep watching this space for more. This is me signing off.
Okay. So don't forget to follow us on nmevents_weddings on Instagram, and to see a lot of BTS, the trends and tips, and a lot more things on the same page.
I would like to add, don't forget to send in your questions, because that might be the question on someone else's mind as well. We will have it answered here. Looking forward for the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.